Last week I posted a blog on called How to Fix Glute Imbalances, and it was a very popular post, but one of the readers posted a question in the comments portion that said, how do I know if I have a glute imbalance? And this is an important question that I forgot to address, and it's easier to address in a video format. So I'm tailoring my answer towards fellow personal trainers and strength coaches and also physical therapists. So anyway, I'm going to give you 4 different ways. The first and a very effective way is to just ask the client. Usually people know, they can feel it. And a lot of times I'll have a client tell me, like, I feel my left glute working more than my right. And then I'll check, and they're totally right. I mean, there's, like, without a doubt, there's no comparison. So always make sure you ask, you ask people, do you feel your glutes working evenly, or do you feel the glute on the left working just as hard as the one on the right? And they usually know. They have a really good idea, because you can feel it. And I've had clients who their glute fires super hard on the one side, and then on the other side they do the same exact exercise for the right side, and it barely fires, and it's weak and flabby. And a lot of times you'll see that one glute has a lot more hypertrophy than the other. So, and it makes sense because the one activates a lot better. So first way, ask the client. Second way, and this is the most effective way to me, is through palpation. I remember years ago I attended a conference, and actually one of the world's most popular physical therapists was presenting, and he said, I don't need to feel your glutes. I can tell by the way you move if you're using your glutes or not. And I've never agreed with that. Someone can look fine and not use their glutes that much. In fact, Stu McGill published a strongman study in 2009, and he showed with EMG, he showed the glute EMG activity of the strongman doing different heavy lifts. And the best strongman used his glutes. He used them earlier on, and he used them to a greater degree than the other lifters when they lifted heavy stuff. So just being strong does not ensure that you're using your glutes. But just watching someone move, you can't really tell for sure if they're using their glute or not, because you can be using more hamstring, you can be using more quads, more erector, more adductor. Palpation to me is the most important way. And here's how I check through palpation. You can do a lot of different ways. You can lay them down prone like this and just have them lift one leg up. And I like to poke a few different areas. Now, another thing I should address, it's this kind of a fuzzy area with personal trainers and strength coaches, because you would never want to get sued for touching someone's glutes. But I always say beforehand, do you mind if I poke your glutes to see if they're working? And I've never had a client say no, but I wouldn't ask if I felt like the client was really insecure or something like that. I've always worked with people who kind of know I'm the glute guy, and that's a lot of times that's what they're coming to me for. But I've had no problems as long as you're very professional and you're not creepy about it. So anyway, I'm a big believer in palpation. So I'll poke upper and lower, because the upper and lower glutes function differently from one another. So you can lay them down prone, have them lift one leg up, lift the other leg up. You can have them bend the knee and lift one leg up and lift the other up. I like the quadruped position better though. So just have them hold this position and squeeze their glute as hard as possible, and then do it on the other side. Feel them, make sure they're symmetrical. But you could also do side lying clams. Those are easy ways to tell if they're using their glute. And you can make sure, check not only that it fires equally during the movement, but also that it's equal in size. Each side is symmetrical in hypertrophy. Okay, so that's palpation. The next category is strength. imbalance here. But as I said earlier, someone can do a movement correctly and not use their glute much. But if you do unilateral movements, like Bulgarian split squats, and say the individual can get 20 reps on one side but only 5 with the other side, well, their right side is obviously way weaker than their left side if they got 20 on the left and 5 on the right. And so probably they have a weaker glute, but it could also be weaker quad, weaker hamstring, weaker everything. So you don't know for sure that it's the glute. But if there's a big asymmetry with strength, then that's a problem. For strength imbalances though, I like looking at true single leg movements, because like the Bulgarian split squat, that's really, it's not a true single leg because you've got 2 points of support here. So for true single leg, you could do a pistol squat like that, you could do a skater squat where you go like that, or you can do a single leg RDL, you know, like this, and you can make sure that their form looks symmetrical and they're of the same strength. When you have someone with a really, really weak glute, they will go to do like a skater squat or something, or a pistol, and you'll see them like cave in so bad it's not even funny. So usually you can tell through those single leg movements with looking at their form and their strength levels. Okay, and then the last category is symmetrical movement. And so a lot of times when you have someone with a weaker glute, you'll watch them squat and they'll go like this. And usually, like let's say they go this way, they're I haven't wrapped my brain around this completely. I don't think that like if they lean to the right side, this means their right side is definitely stronger. I think it usually means that. But it also could be mobility related. They could have different hip flexibility or like ankle mobility in one of the legs. But anyway, you can look at symmetrical movement like squatting movements to see if they shift into one direction. So there are 4 different ways to see if somebody does in fact have a glute imbalance. So make sure you read the blog that I wrote. I'll include the link in the description of this video. But make sure you read that blog as to how to fix it.